make you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
And I hit the wrong button.
Yes, you just wanted to get your face on there first.
I was on there first. For those of you playing along at home, I rehearsed it like 3 times, and I ended up pushing the wrong button. But that's what happens in the world of live video. You just got to take what you get.
Yes, like last week when we were in the same room but had some audio issues, and hey, it's all good. You knew what we were saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you could go watch the WWDC conference video yourself.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that.
Why would you? You want all of our nice banter and quips.
Yes, indeed. Well, should we get into some follow-up?
We should, and I'm going to hit the button as soon as I find it, and it is right here.
So, speaking of WWDC, we did just want to highlight a few things. I've got a link in the show notes, which are always a good place to go visit at notnerd.com. But the 6colors.com put together a list of features that didn't, or features or knowledge that weren't part of the keynote. So they had a bunch of different things on there, and we picked a couple of the things we're excited about. Did you want to go first there, Dave?
Yes, and so as I mentioned during the keynote video that we made last week, profiles in Safari. I'm still excited about that.
Yes.
I have yet to try it. I haven't seen how to do that on iOS yet, and maybe on Mac OS only. Backlinks and notes. So for lack of a better term, I'm calling them backlinks. I think backlinks are a little bit different in how they operate, but imagine you have a note called Not Nerd, and inside there you have Client 1, another note called Client 1. You can link to the Client 1 card and then link back, which is something that I kind of switched to Obsidian for to get this kind of power. So that was very, very cool. And then the other thing that I was excited about was the built-in password sharing.
Yeah.
This means that when you have you're saving your passwords on your phone and it's to your bank account, you can then share that password login and password information to your spouse's account so that you only have to enter it once, and if you make a change, it updates it in both places. So like Bitwarden and LastPass and all these other ones do this, where you can have accounts. Many of them charge you to have this feature.
Yeah, to be able to do the sharing.
So what is it, 1Password? I think that might be a paid upgrade feature for that. So now you can get it for free. So those were kind of the 3 that I really liked. What about you?
Yes, well, my first one of the most underrated features on the iPhone is when you get a text message verification code and it puts it into autofill for you. Mm-hmm. Well, with iOS 17, you'll be able to get autofill verification codes when one comes in from email.
Right.
So if it emails you a verification code, so that will be nice. Seems like that one's a little tougher just because email text messaging's a little simpler format than email, but I'm hoping that will work well, because especially on the iPhone, when you have to switch over to your email, find the email, open up the right email client, get the right account, find the thing,
and then click to copy just the word and not the whole sentence or the whole entire page, and
Yes, and it looks like they're also adding a feature where you can delete those one-time passwords once used. So that'd be nice, because you're never going to need that again.
Right.
So it could just clear it out, hopefully from both text message and email, because, it's a one-time password. I do not need to archive those out.
And it's not even good for later. I mean, you can't reuse it, so...
Yes. And then one for the Mac, a new item in the full screen window control allows you to share that window on a video call, including third-party apps like Zoom. So do a lot of video meetings. I'm trying to share just one window. I'm looking through a list of the 500 windows I have open. If I can just go to that window, use the controls, and share it right into Zoom, that'll be very nice.
Yeah. Hopefully third parties integrate all of these wonderful APIs that Apple is building into the next system.
Yes, yes. And one of the other things that came out after the keynote is many of the tech Illuminati, the chosen few, were
Right.
able to spend half an hour with the Apple Vision Pro. So it was a guided tour. They had a couple Apple people with them. It was kind of a here, do this, do this, do this. Ask us a couple questions. We won't answer
Right.
everything, but across the board it seems like, I don't know what you've seen, Dave, but people are just blown away. I mean,
Yeah, I wondered if it was people who hadn't tried other VR systems and they try this for the first time and they're like, "Oh, this is what VR is." I'm blown away. But I was listening to uh, Federico Vitici from Connected and other various podcasts, and he's played the Quest 2 and the
yeah,
PlayStation VR and all these other ones, and he said he was blown away. Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like
Even Marquez Brownlee, I watched his video, and he has used
everything.
every VR headset stuff that's not even out yet. He was very impressed. John Gruber from Daring Fireball, I've got his in the Six Colors with Jason
Hmm.
Snell. Their two
Yeah.
kind of reviews. They weren't able to do any video or photos of it or anything. It was just written. But he was just blown away, and his son has, I think, the Quest 2. But he said there was this dinosaur simulation, and he's like, you walk all the way up to the dinosaur, and you still do not see a pixel, a thing out of place. So the initial reviews are looking pretty good. They did have some complaints. It's a little bit heavy, and there are concerns about usage and all of this stuff. But that initial 30 minutes from everybody I've seen was mostly positive, and just basically saying that, yeah, Apple has the chops. They've got the money.
They got the money.
They're not going the route of other companies where it's how cheap can we get this. It's, hey, we're going to make the best one we possibly can, and we're going to have to charge you for that.
Yeah. Still with my Quest 2 that I have, I've been using it recently because of the Apples. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
have one of these things. I should be using it. Um, Occasionally, I'll be in there and I'll move my head, and the whole world will move with me, and then it'll lock down. It's like those little things. One, they take you out of the experience, and two, they can be
Yeah.
make you sick. So it still does that. I was like, what? It's not running any type of beta software, so it's still not fully baked, and it's been out for a long time, so which is disappointing.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that Apple's is going to be hopefully pretty fully baked by the time we see it next year, if it's wowing people right now.
Yes, yes. And the eye tracking inside the goggles where you just kind of look around, and the hand control,
Hmm.
they said that's amazing. And then the John Gruber was talking about, you have it on, you can see the room, you take the goggles off, it's like exactly the same
Yeah.
perspective. Wes has joined us in the
Oh,
YouTube Live, and he said, what's your favorite game on VR or things to do on the Quest 2?
so I love flying simulations. I tried a car simulation one, and it did not agree with me one
But
bit.
probably because you're used to driving in real life, where you're not used to flying in
Maybe,
real life.
but
So
I
it's
tried a demo the other day of a World War I flying game, and there's a sale on one. Of course, I just read about it. The name escapes me. It's something something two, but it's a flying simulator.
oh, that
Yeah,
one,
that
something
narrows it
something
down.
too.
So the flying just blows me away and I've again tried several demos, but you're looking down, and like you can turn the plane this way, but you're looking this way, and you can't get that experience really with like a 2D console.
Yeah,
You can do the
yeah,
dogfighting and stuff, but having the ability to have your craft move one way and then you have the ability to look around is second level. So those, I also enjoy the golfing games. I'm making plans to buy Walkabout Golf, which is like a mini golf type simulator, but they have all kinds of wacky areas like underwater and on top of a cliff. And that old Myst game, they have like the Myst world with different stuff. So it's a very kind of interactive one. And then, of course, I bought Vader Immortal episodes 1, 2, and 3, and Star
of
Wars
course.
Galaxy something. I don't know what it is. I haven't played through all of them, but the ones that I have played through are they're done really well, as you can imagine. So stuff like that. The fighting and hack and slash games I don't love too much in VR. And then finally, Beat Saber is and Super Hot are wonderful games. But they're like, if you have a console at all, you're gonna have those games. They're just kind of like, oh, it came with Mario, my Nintendo, so I play
Yes.
Mario. I mean, they don't come with it, but they're so pervasive that pretty much everybody has those two games. So anyway, hope that answers your question. But
Yes.
and Wes, if you ever want to stop by or borrow the
He
console,
he actually has one.
oh, he
He
does.
has a Quest 2. So you
Okay,
guys need to meet up, and
let's
maybe
play
one of
tennis or
these
something.
days we'll be live in the metaverse.
Oh boy,
Oh, could we only? Could
I'm
we only?
I am looking forward to that night.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Well, our next piece of follow up, interestingly enough, just a
Oh,
coincidence, a couple days before
mm-hmm.
WWDC, Meta announced their Quest 3 VR headset, which is going to come out later this year. I have no idea why they would have chosen, just before WWDC to get any news out about
It
that.
makes no sense whatsoever. Now, of
Yeah,
course, they wanted to get out of. Here's the thing: if they would have announced this after WWDC, and then everybody would have been comparing it to Apple's, and they would have
yeah,
said, even at a third the cost, it's still not. Or actually, it's way less. It's way more than a third,
yes,
more or less than a
yes,
third. Anyway, at a much reduced rate compared to Apple's, it's still not as good. So they didn't want people to say that, so they got it out before so that there could be a news cycle talking about it. And I read forums and stuff, and people are excited about the Quest 3 because they know they can't afford the Apple one, or maybe
yeah.
they hate Apple or whatever. Um,
And people like you that love Meta and Facebook so
yeah.
much.
Well, I was thinking I will probably, as the time gets closer, either sell my Quest 2 and buy a 3, or let my family use the 2 and I'll use 3 and we can do stuff together or something like that.
Yeah.
You know how it really will be. I'll still be using the 2 and they'll want to use the 3 because it's
Yes.
better. So, I
Yes.
mean, for a few $100s, it's still a really good
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. So the Quest 3 will be $500, and they have dropped the price on the both storage versions of the Quest 2.
Well, fun fact, they raised it
Oh,
and then I think they dropped it back down. So,
nice.
yeah.
Nice. So if you are looking for a Quest 2 until the new ones come out, whatever those might be, actually Isla out of nowhere, I think it was yesterday, said it was maybe one on the TV or something. She goes, "Can we get one of those sometimes? I'd like to do that." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll buy a Quest 2 now, get a Quest 3 in the fall, and then the Apple Vision Pro in the
Oh,
spring
you're gonna
sometime."
have so much. Be a little bit careful. Her little head and eyes might be too young for that. It can
Yes,
mess it up.
yes,
So,
indeed. Well, away from VR, surprising no one, Netflix subscriptions had its biggest jump in years and years after they started blocking password sharing.
so the question here is, did their plan work? They said, "Hey, we're losing revenue due to
Yeah,
people sharing subscriptions, so let's quit that." So I feel like everybody signing up kind of has encouraged that behavior. So
yes.
I don't know, maybe other carriers will be doing that as well.
Yeah, so it delivered a windfall of new subscribers in its earliest days, according to data. But yeah, we'll see if people stick with it. Was it people just going, "Oh, now I've got to go get my free account with
Right. Like T-Mobile or
T-Mobile
whatever.
or any of the other ways that you can get a free account?" So
Or I was in the middle of watching a series and I'm going to finish that series and then immediately cancel in a month. So,
yes, yeah, that too. So we'll see on that one. But Netflix is feeling good for the moment.
hmm
Next up, one that we haven't talked about in a while, GameStop.
yeah.
Things that we thought we'd never get back to on the podcast. They have fired their CEO.
Yeah, what was the story there on that? What did the CEO do to tick off GameStop
Yeah,
board
well,
members?
so GameStop has fired CEO Matt Furlong, the company announced as part of its first quarter 2023 earnings on Wednesday. There's no immediate replacement, though board chairman Ryan Cohen, who was involved with the whole meme stock thing, he's taking on the role of executive chair. So it's Not a whole lot of details that I saw in the article, but it seems like, hey, maybe they just need to keep going in a different direction. They've been trying everything they can to keep the stock price up. But
Well, there's a problem because the stock bros who are propping up the price and keeping it going and making revenue strong is kind of incongruent with the way the company is ran and the way they treat their employees and customers and stuff. And so they seem to be kind of a gross company to work for, yet there's a culture of people who are like, this is my childhood and we want to
yeah.
keep it in line. So hopefully a CEO change will help get those closer in alignment. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, and it does say here as Dave drops stuff. This week in Dave drops stuff, he started. So Furlong actually started GameStop in June 2021 after the chaos started, and he was really into the move into NFTs. So I'm going to go ahead and say NFTs is causing a lot of CEOs to move on from companies.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
Yeah, that was, man, if we could get past this whole NFT thing and put it behind us and we can laugh about it in a couple decades, that would be phenomenal.
Yes, and I don't think we talked about this one 2 weeks ago, but I keep seeing articles about it, and I've had a couple people ask me in person because they see a headline saying Apple's shutting down iCloud Photo. And it's like, no, they're not. So what they are shutting down is the original cloud photo sync service from when before they had iCloud Photo Library, where it would just basically sync. I think it was your last 100 or 1,000 photos, so you could access them on any of your devices. So
it was the worst thing ever, and Apple always does things in steps, and they eventually get to where people want. But it was, hey, you have two devices, and so we're going to sync the last 1,000 photos or whatever between the two devices. Well, what if you had 5,000 photos on device one, and you got a new device? Now it's just the last. How do I get the other ones there? And it's like, well, you can have to synchronize them somewhere else and upload them or put them into. It was a big mess.
Yes. So this should have been turned off a long time ago. Don't worry. Tell your parents all their photos aren't going to be deleted. They don't have to post something on Facebook saying that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have the right to share their photos or whatever those dumb things are that keep coming back all the time.
Paste this in your post.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but you also need to tell those parents that they need to have a backup, because one backup is none backup. And there's supposed to be a sound effect there. And remember, Nate, as we've talked about before, you can't move forward unless you back up. Behold the power of backup. So
that was the music was really loud for me there.
Oh, was it? It was really quiet for me. So
interesting. Anyways, people know the stuff, and it's on to our new segment. Just the headlines. Okay, here we go. Okay. Tesla Model Y is now the world's best-selling car, first EV to do so.
Nice.
Amazon is discontinuing Alexa's celebrity voices. AirTags reveal officials in Mexico stole items donated for earthquake relief in Turkey.
Yeah, that was sad.
And McDonald's in China has an exclusive nugget-shaped Tetris handheld.
And I kind of want it, so check it out.
Yes, if anybody's going to China, please get me the nugget-shaped. We had to break our rule on the Just the Headlines there, but I love McNuggets. Had some of my daughters the other day, and I love Tetris. So.
Yes, it's a match made in heaven.
A match made in heaven. You know what else is a match made in heaven? You and Dave's Pro Tip of the week.
There seems to be a delay on my sound effects, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it. They're playing. So my tip of the week is something very cool, and I was going to have this all set up on the teleprompter thing, or whatever you call it. What do you call it when you share your screen sharing? But alas, I didn't get it done in time.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a bunch of new changes to Apple's Notes. Like we talked about, there's going to be the link back type stuff where you can link to notes. But one feature we often forget about is the scan. Like my tip a couple weeks ago was to scan directly into files.
Oh
So
yeah.
you don't have to use a third party app and then export the thing. You can just scan right into files. Well, if you recall, you can scan right into notes as well. But one feature that I never use that I should use is you can scan the text right into notes
Oh yeah.
without
Yeah.
scanning the whole image. Let's say it's a packaging of a product or something like that. So I'm going to, in a really terrible way, attempt to show you all this at home. But I have prepared a note here called "Not Nerd" is a note, and I'm gonna press and hold somewhere, and I'm gonna get the little menu bar that comes up. I'm gonna click the little arrow, and it's gonna have insert. So I'm gonna insert, and now I've got an option. It has, what does it say? The scan text, contacts, passwords, blah, blah. Well, I want to scan text. So I'm going to press that guy and my camera turns on. So you can see at the bottom of my screen I don't want to reveal too much about this wonderful space that I'm in. But I also have a drone laying around, as one does, just a little micro drone laying around. Yeah, and on the side is a bullet point list. And so I'm going to hold this thing behind. I can't see it and both do it at the same time. Yeah, so well anyway, I'll show you this. There's the bullet list. It says helicopter 2.4 something US speed. Yeah. So I'm going to do this where I can see it. And as I'm holding it up over there, I'm going to tap the picture and it says find nearby text. And it pops up on my screen. Man, this is a terrible demo. So it pops up on my screen and then I can hit insert. It did it just a second ago. I wanted to share my phone screen with you, but that's what I couldn't get hooked up in time. But what's great about it is it will eventually recognize the text. The button will turn blue. And then I hit insert and look what's on my screen right now. It just put it right in there, all the text. Yeah, it's got the bullet points, it's got everything. Helicopter, it's spared. Some of these packagings have English on them. It would have taken the English and put it right in there, I'm sure. So if you don't want to take a picture of something because you just want to get it for the text, insert the text from camera into a note or any other document that you're using at the time. But Notes is about to get a lot more powerful. So if I were you, as an iOS user, I would learn how to use Notes and all the features because it can just save you a lot of time.
I use that a lot, and there was a book that I was trying to capture some text out of, and I should have done it that way because now I just have notes with a bunch of pictures in it
and now you have
instead
to
of
go in
the
and
text.
try to do text search in
Yeah.
those. Yeah, I know.
Very nice.
It's amazing.
I like
it's
it.
Amazing.
Amazing.
We live in the
Apple
future.
Notes. Yes, it has come a long, long way and will continue getting better.
Yes.
Well, let us move on to our takes of the week. This first one, now that we've got our just the headlines section, I can have a little more freedom with our take section, but I thought this was interesting. The headline from AP News: Can a chatbot preach a good sermon? Hundreds attend church service generated by ChatGPT to find out.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so it was at I believe, a Lutheran conference in Fürth, Germany. They had a sermon written by ChatGPT, and then had a large video screen with a figure, a generated person giving the sermon.
Apologize for all the stupid ads that are on there. Is that any better? There we go.
You don't have the ad blocker in that
Not
browser,
in Safari.
do
I have
you?
it turned off for some reason. I don't know why.
Yes,
Oh,
but
geez.
this week in pop-ups.
Yes.
But yeah, the convention itself Deutscher Evangelischer Kirchentag
And that,
in German.
wow, you nailed that. That's exactly perfect.
My German heritage coming through, but it's a conference that happens every 2 years, or convention, and they wanted to look at AI stuff this year, so they did that, and hundreds of people came, which in church speak, I think they said 300 people were there. That's not a whole lot of people for a church.
Maybe in
but
Germany
maybe for
it
this,
is.
maybe in Germany they have them a little smaller. But yeah, AI is infecting everything, including maybe your next church service.
Wow. That's something
Yeah.
to look forward to.
Yes, yes. It does finish with a little criticism from someone. The pastor is in the congregation. She lives with them. She buries the people. She knows them from the beginning, Simmerlein said. Artificial intelligence cannot do that. It does not know the congregation, to which I would say, yet.
Yet. Like, why can't it pretend to know them?
Yeah, it could scrape all their information from
Yeah.
Facebook
It has a
and
dossier
know
on
them.
everybody.
And control a robot to bury them. I don't know why that was part of the quote, but
Well, you say nice things about the people as you bury them. Like,
Yes.
so-and-so was, a kind person.
yeah, would you again pull it off Facebook?
That's true. The deceased is someone who was really adamant about posting all kinds of medical and political things. They were
Yeah.
really into wacky,
They were
flat
very
earth
opinionated.
stuff. Yeah.
Hey, we're all flat earthers, right? Anyways, on to the next one. So, Maryland license plates now inadvertently advertising Filipino online casino.
Of course.
In this week, make sure you renew your domain name registrations. So,
See, I thought this was an ad, but that's actually part of the article. So my apologies
Yes,
for a
yes.
little bit of curviness
yes.
there.
So on the Maryland, the state of Maryland had some special license plates for the War of 1812 and 200 years, and it had www.starspangled200.org, which they do no longer have control of, which now goes to a Filipino gambling site. So
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost like the people who make our laws are the same type of people who run governments at the state level.
Yes.
They're all very old and maybe need replaced. But, that's my opinion.
Yeah, so the license plates, which were the default between 2012 and 2016, had the domain, and sometime within the last year, that domain stopped telling people about how Marylander Francis Scott Key was inspired to write the national anthem, and so on and so forth about 1812. And now it goes to globeinternational.info, in which a blinking bikini-clad woman advertises Philippines' best betting site. Deposit 100, receive 250.
Whoa, I mean, if that actually works, that's an advantage,
Yes, there you go. Maybe we should all check it out. I'm going to be doing a little gambling in the Philippines after we get done with the show.
I'm glad I moved those ads off the side. There's some really questionable ads on the Vice.
On the internet?
Well, just
Yes.
on Vice. It's
Oh, yes.
medically assisted sex with an appropriate picture.
Yikes. Well, then let us move on to someplace that is completely appropriate all the time, Reddit.
Yeah, it is.
And so this is a crazy developing story. You had found the link because you use the Reddit app Apollo, a third-party app, and they had come out and said that Reddit is changing the way they charge for their APIs for Apollo and other apps to be able to use it, much like Twitter did. Their Reddit was probably like, ooh, we can make more money. Let's do this too.
Well, I think it was an attempt to get rid of all third-party clients.
Well, that too.
And if they didn't, then they were going to make bank off of third-party
Yes.
clients. But there's no third-party client out there that could afford the $20 million a year that Reddit was asking for to keep the API operating.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous. The developer of Apollo, Christian somebody, was like, I don't make even close to that
Yeah.
a year. How would I even, if I paid the API, I would be in debt. So
Yeah. Well, so this kind of came out and people were upset about it. A lot of, much like Twitter, again, people like using their third-party apps.
yeah, because there are no ads and they're just way better.
Yes. So a bunch of people started getting on board. And actually, today, as we record Monday, June 12th, you probably haven't been on Reddit a lot, Dave, because for one, it was crashing. Because today is Reddit Day of Darkness, or whatever they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a link in the show notes to reddark.untone.uk, which I believe is using the Reddit API to pull some numbers off what. So there is 8,300 unique subreddits have gone private or blocked posting or anything today. 28,606 moderators. Combined subscriber count that is taking part in this protest, 2,847,764,412 people. So almost 3 billion users are impacted by this, which is some of the biggest ones that have over 40 million users are Funny, the subreddit Funny, and then ones with 30 plus million, Awe, gaming, music, Pix, science. Oh, Pix, I guess, is public again. Today I learned. So very popular subreddits are all protesting. And I didn't put a link in the show notes, but I did see another article recently that Reddit is cutting staff and doing some other things to try to make some money. So I think overall they've got some issues at Reddit, but it is still a insanely popular service.
What they're trying to do is to get enough money and whatever so that they can make a bid to go public, but they have to have income so that investors are willing to do it, blah, blah, blah. So they want to go public. The problem is they're being terrible to their users. And nearly 100% of the content on Reddit is generated by users. And all the moderators of those subreddits are volunteers. And so they basically are using everybody as just a cash cows so that they can go public, so that they can make billions of dollars. The site will probably implode, but all the people who are at the top are going to make billions, so who cares, right? So that's what these people are protesting, is that they're being used to create content and they're being slapped in the face by the leadership of Reddit. So it's just a bad situation on all the way around. My guess is it's probably going to accomplish that. They're going to get rid of millions of users outside of this thing. Another service, there's already one out there, a couple out there that do similar things that people are trying to shore up and make available for all of the defectors. So that'll probably be a big thing. Reddit will probably go away, and people who invested are going to lose all their money, but the people who are at the top are going to make a lot of money. It's this whole corporate shell game that's going on.
Yes, indeed. Well, this next one, I think I'm going to slap a not news label on it, but you had found this article, Blue Microphones branding is going away after 28 years. Now, if you've been in the podcast space at all, you've probably seen people using Blue microphones. They're very popular USB and different kinds of microphones, very easy to use. But the key word in the headline is branding. So Logitech purchased the company Blue Microphones in 2018, which in 23 years after jazz musician Skipper Wise and audio engineer Martin Solis-Perrins created the company.
Now, have you met Skipper Wise?
No.
I believe I was in the same room with Skipper Wise because we used to work for a distributor who distributed these.
Yes, that was after my time there, but wow, that's nice.
I thought this article would be nostalgic for you.
It was, and I was aware that the company did Blue, but I wasn't working there, so I didn't get to meet Skipper Wise. But so basically, what's happening is they're going to move it all under the Logitech G brand, and they're going to use the Yeti
Yes.
name instead of Blue.
And the reason this is frustrating because all the people, well, at least all the people in the forums that I was reading in the comments, so all
Yes.
12 of us were really just dumbfounded why there was all this um, goodwill and
Yeah.
branding that has been built up for the past 20 years, and they're just gonna be like, "No, we're just gonna throw it away," because Logi and Logitech and Logi.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that garbage. But Blue Microphone, you see that little logo that's like a classic looking
Yeah.
logo, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of a prosumer quality thing. If I buy a Blue Microphone, that's what everyone's recommending." Now it's going to be like, "Oh, go buy a Logitech." Oh, are those the people who make the $40 webcams that are
Yeah.
garbage, or the $20 headset that's garbage? Or I mean, it just seems like they're taking a premium brand and dumbing it down. But that's my
Yeah,
opinion.
well-known brand. I
Yeah,
believe Wes, he's used a Blue microphone. I mean, it was just kind of the standard.
yeah, people love
Go
them.
buy one for around $100 and have a really good, USB. It was one of the first, I think, real, especially popular USB microphone
Hmm.
brands. So you could just plug it into your laptop when we started doing that for everything. So
Yeah.
it is sad to see the branding go away, but the microphones will still exist under a different kind of name.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Nate, this is just a side note, a tech note. You are becoming a little pixelated on your end, so I
Oh,
don't know.
yes, I am.
Make sure your power's plugged in or that your network
I'm
cable is plugged
powered.
in.
I'm on my network cable.
Okay.
Let's make sure Backblaze isn't backing up my entire computer.
That could be the case.
Oh, that might be it. Let's see if it improves.
all right.
I need to add that to our pre-show checklist to
Yes.
stop backing up with Backblaze.
And it already looks like it's improving some. So we'll
Nice.
see.
Pro tip. Don't be backing up your entire computer while trying to stream to somebody else's computer, which is then live streaming to the internet.
Yes.
Well, a security and privacy story.
It's okay to talk over the sounders.
Yes.
It's just you're just waiting. Where is it? Where is it?
I just have to hear that music before I can get in the mood to talk about security and privacy. Ransomware attack on U.S. dental insurance giant exposes data of 9 million with an M patients.
Oh, I'm so surprised that.
Yeah, it's like every single week, millions of people, especially their healthcare data, is being exposed.
And what's the consequence? What is the consequence of this?
Nothing.
Is there going to be a fine? Do the customers get paid money because their information was stolen? And typically when something
No.
is stolen from you, you get compensated, right?
Yeah. Well, don't worry. The information stolen only includes a trove of patients' personal data, the only inserted by me, including names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, email addresses, social security numbers, and driver licenses or other government-issued ID numbers. And all your health insurance data.
Yeah. So, next time you go to fill out a form for a credit card or get a loan or something, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You have zero credit." And you're like,
Yeah.
"What are you talking about? I had like a 750 the other day." Well, didn't you go buy a yacht and throw it in the ocean and whatever? No, that wasn't me. Well, someone with your
Yes.
name, your health information, your social security number, your bank account, everything.
Yeah.
You've been duplicated. You might as well move to the hills and just be a hermit.
Yes.
Your life has been ruined.
The company is Managed Care of North America, MCNA, and it's the largest dental insurer in the nation for government-sponsored plans covering children and seniors. That's a whole bunch of qualifications there, but
So too bad it's a government-sponsored plan and not a
Yeah.
plan for government officials. Because
Yes.
if the government officials,
Yes.
they might actually do something
there
about
would be
this.
there would be a fix for it. But
I'm not condoning people to leak stuff, but if you are in charge of government stuff, maybe you should leak
yeah,
it.
why don't these ransomware people go after? I guess they go after the city governments.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
We have to cleanse our palate.
yes, with a bonus odd take. And if you're looking to do better with your security and privacy, have I got the website for you.
I saw the title and I loaded it up and I cannot
Yes.
wait.
It is kennylog-in.com. So this is where you go to create Kenny logins, generate a secure password from the lyrics of America's greatest singer-songwriter.
That's a pretty bold claim.
Hey, they made it.
I guess.
And they've got a great picture of Kenny logins there. So
Who's gonna,
then you...
who's going to prove otherwise, right?
Yeah, true. It says you can select your password complexity. So danger zone comes in weak. I'm all right is all right. And this is it creates a strong password. So I'm going to go with danger zone.
This is it? I don't remember that one. There's the
this is it.
That's Huey Lewis in the News.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to trust them over you. No offense, Dave.
Yeah.
This is it. Kenny Loggins.
Well, he must have another song with the same title.
Yes.
It's not the one you're thinking of, though.
I'm going to see if I can... I'm listening to it in my earphone.
Yeah, you don't...
Oh, I encourage all of you, after you visit Kenny Loggins, to go check out that music video. So, Danger Zone, it generated sales out at 2 with capital S, capital O. So you can, if you need to generate a good password, go to kennylog-in.com. Oh my goodness, when I did one for This Is It, that is a Wheel of Fortune Rainbow Connection tumbling from from the ground and at 5. That is one secure password. It's about 40 characters with capitals and lowercases.
So it makes your own. I'm on there now, so...
Yeah, so if you go to This Is It and generate one.
Generate. Let's see. Yes. So I've got one up there. Shot to the heart. Something your mama don't care. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that works.
Yeah, why not use Kenny Loggins to generate your secure password?
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And Nate, as you were leaning in, trying to read the things,
read my password on my tiny screen.
I saw your hat.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yes. This week's Netback hat is Mount Hood, and I picked this one out of my piles because I'll leave it for the Mark and Toddcast, but there has been some tremors happening on Mount Hood. It is a quote-unquote inactive volcano.
There is no such thing.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Not a thing. Just ask Mount St. Helens about that.
Yes.
There are
bonus.
Dormant. Yeah.
Yes. A bonus. There is a Mount St. Helens account on Twitter that is pure fire. It is all snark all the time.
Nice.
I think that's where I actually saw about the Mount Hood and the tremors. It's like, oh, please, something.
Yeah.
Call me when you erupt or something like that.
Call me when there's something to talk
so
about.
I decided to pick the Mount Hood hat this week, which I picked up at a grocery store on Mount Hood when I was up there a few years back.
That's a very nice design.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. Well, you know what else is a very nice design? Our picks. Oh,
what?
Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
my bad.
I don't have a button for that.
Our picks of the week.
So you caught me a little bit with my pants down, but I do want to talk about this game.
Belts? We've already both picked belts.
Yeah.
You've got it.
Yes, there's this game, and I'm trying to find out the name of it. I'll bring it up here on my phone. It's an Apple arcade game, and you can play it with your friends. You can play it with your family. But here it is. No, it's Super Mega Mini Party.
Ooh.
And it's just a bunch of mini games that you can play. Like,
nice.
Try to get to the checkered flag as fast as you can in a driving game, or jump around, or there's a bunch of old arcade rip-off type stuff that it can do, and then you just try to get the best score, do whatever. But like I said, you can do a party and compete against people, and I love party games, and so this is fun. And I was specifically looking for one that I could play with, like, my wife or my kids or my friends or whatever, either in the same room or across the internet. synchronously or asynchronously, and this is what I came up with. So if you want to check it out, please do. What was the name again? Super Mini Party Game or something like that.
Super
Apple.
Mini Party Mega Mini
Yeah.
Party.
Anyway, it's fun. If you have Apple
Nice.
Arcade, you bought it already, you're paying for it, you might as well download it and check it out.
Yes. Well, my pick of the week this week, there are a few things that have come up more often than others in our picks of the week.
Okay.
We'll say battery packs, chargers or power ports or cables or that kind of thing. And one of the other ones is lights. I love lights.
Okay.
Tripods, that's another one. We've had several tripod and
Yeah.
selfie stick picks, but this week I've got a light for you.
I'm with you on that whole front. When I go in a store or I'm online looking, I'm just like, oh, there's a little mini cube light. Oh, that would be super cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what do I do that?
What do I need that
Yeah.
light for? Yes, and I don't have my keys on me, but I picked years ago the little tiny
MagSafe.
flashlight. Yeah, that looked kind of like a MagSafe that you twist it. Now, Dave, are you familiar with the term cob light? Cob, C-O-B.
I am not. Is it an acronym that stands for something?
It is, and I had to look it up because I had no idea. And it stands for chip-on-board lights, which are essentially an array of LED chips that are tightly packed together and bonded to a substrate such as silicon carbide.
Well, if you'd have said COB, I would have said circuit on board, but cob, I'm
yes.
thinking corn. So, yeah.
Yes, but this right here is my new cob light.
I'm scared for you to turn that on even through the power of
The power
internet.
of I'll turn it on to the side so I don't blind anybody. And there is a strobe effect. So if you're watching the video, look away after I get, so that you've got your brightest, you got your strobe. So the 4 different settings. So it's about a 1 inch by 1 inch?
I would say it's almost exactly 1 inch by 1 inch.
Yes. Little light, and it looks yellow when it's off, but it is a COB with
Right
a
away.
bunch of little LEDs, and it has got a carabiner up top.
Is it
It's
made out
got
of
a-
aluminum alloy?
It is some sort of metallic substrate, if I can use that. Dave, I lost your video.
Yeah,
or did you turn off your lights
No.
in protest of Reddit?
I think maybe my battery died or something. I have no
nice.
idea.
Very cool.
Well, we won't worry about that too much. Just keep going.
Yes. So it's got a bottle opener
Okay.
on the side here. It has got, it charges via USB-C, thank you very much, which I think the description said USB micro, but it's got a USB-C port on there.
That's good.
It's got a tripod mount on the bottom, and it's got a magnet on the back. So this is an extremely versatile light in an extremely small package. It is very bright. I should just start. Ooh, that's a little harsh to use.
Is it harsh in your mellow?
Yeah, here I'll use some fill light there, but you can see this has got some good light on it.
Yeah.
So Dave, I went on Amazon. I'd actually bought one of these before. I'd used it a couple times, and then I have no idea where it is. It's probably in my vehicle somewhere if I know myself. But so I was like, I saw somebody talking about them and how great they are. And I said, you know what? I need to buy another one. Well, I went on Amazon and I found a 4-pack of these bad boys. It's got 4.7 stars on 109 ratings. So not a ton of ratings, but it is Amazon's choice in handheld flashlights. By something else. I don't know what the qualification is there. But yeah, so a 4-pack of these little flashlights. Dave, what would you pay for a 4-pack of Keychain flashlights, 4-packs, Cobb Keychain work light, portable, mini, rechargeable flashlight, 4 light modes with magnet base, bracket, bottle opener for night camping, emergency repair, Walkig dog. Walkig dog. Not walking your dog, Walkig your dog.
Well, I was going to go low with until I heard the Walkig dog, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this thing's a masterpiece. I have a price in my mind. I hope it's not too low because I don't want to insult the engineers.
This brand, Najlaxiowu.
Yeah,
don't know.
Najlaxiowu.
They might be listeners.
Everyone is familiar with that brand, just like Blue Yeti.
Yes.
I'm gonna say 19.99 for a 4-pack. That puts them around $5 a piece.
$11.99 for this 4-pack.
What? How can they make them so cheap?
I don't know. And there are 1 million brands of these. Everybody's buying the exact same thing out of China, I'm sure, and then just repackaging them. So the price goes all over the place. But
one thing I missed, is it rechargeable, or do you have to put like a battery?
USB-C.
Oh,
So you
USB-C.
just, yes,
Yeah.
so you can charge it via that, which is very nice. I don't know. There's more expensive ones that have more features, maybe, or something, or are brighter. I'm trying to look to see what the exact brightness on this one is.
While you're looking,
but
I think that's the same technology that they use for the Edison-style bulbs that have
yeah.
LEDs in them, but they look like there's some type of filament. They stick a bunch of these little things on a COB,
Yeah.
and they just glow. It's like sand, you know. It's interesting.
Yes.
So I think
Yeah.
that's a similar technology, maybe.
So it does not tell me. I did see on some of the related products the lumens, but I don't see the lumens on these ones. But if you see these anywhere, I mean, I think, at the auto parts store, they probably have them by the register.
Yeah.
But a 4-pack for $11.99,
That's a
I don't
steal.
think you're going to beat that deal. So if you need this or any of our other picks, Dave's pick, any other picks, you can go to notpicks.com. And I had mentioned before, hey, I'm going to put together a little Father's Day top list. Every pick on notpicks.com is going to be a great last minute Father's Day gift.
Yeah.
So just go, if you're going, oh yeah, Father's Day is this Sunday, I should probably get something for my father who raised me and is wonderful. Go to notpicks.com, unless you're my kid or Dave's kid, because we probably have just about
We have
everything there.
Don't buy us anything. Just give us
Yes.
permission to go buy something.
Yes.
And if you don't have a father, I'm sorry for you. Just go buy
Yes.
yourself something on Father's
Yeah,
Day.
there you go.
That's what
Celebrate that. So, yeah, buy yourself something. But yeah, notpicks.com. You can always head there, check out past picks, find some good stuff. But with that, I think we will wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for watching, listening, YouTubing, living, all the different things. Living. Make sure you share it with a friend so that we can all get out there and tech better.